So guys, the official trailer for Superman has finally released. I've made the trailer reaction for this trailer already. We got some really cool stuff in this trailer. We got 3 minutes of brand new footage, and definitely it hyped all of us up. It made us all more confident with James Gunn's vision of Superman, and I can very confidently say that this film is going to be a massive hit. This film has everything you need to see in a Superman movie. We have Superman with a lot of meaningful Superman scenes from what we're seeing in the trailer, and obviously in the film we're just going to see more of Superman just being a symbol of hope and how he's just like the hero of the people. I think the very vibrant and bright color grading does really help like emphasize Superman as a symbol of hope in this film. And what I mean by this, like the film looks colorful, like it's very vibrant, it's very bright, and it just looks like these shots are just ripped out of a comic book in terms of like the color and the use of color grading in this film. It looks very like hopeful, so I do really like how they managed to match that aesthetic. Obviously we've seen some of this in the first trailer already, but we do just see multiple more of it in this trailer. We got obviously multiple more dialogue. The previous trailer didn't really have much dialogue, but over here we have tons of dialogue. We have shots of multiple different villains, Lex Luthor, Ultraman, the Engineer, and many more. And we do obviously have Superman facing off against multiple different villains. So this is going to be a Superman movie where we're going to have Superman facing off against multiple villains. Obviously, we do have the Justice League in this film as well. We have Green Lantern, we have Hawkgirl, we have Mr. Terrific. We have more scenes to do with them. And definitely a highlight for me when I was watching this trailer was actually the chemistry between Lois and Clark. That, of course, is the core of the Superman story. Like, if you don't have two actors that have very good chemistry as Lois and Clark, then it's going to be an issue. But I can very confidently say that I really liked what I'm seeing with the two main leads of this film. But yeah, let's just get straight into this breakdown. So, firstly, the trailer kicks off with Lois obviously interviewing Clark as Superman. So, Clark has given her permission to interview him as Superman. So, she already knows that Clark is Superman. Now, does she find out in this film, or does she already know by the time this film picks up? I'm not really sure about that. I really don't know. Obviously, in terms of like how the Superman movie it's set, we do know that it's Superman in his early years. So maybe some time has passed and Lois already knows that Clark is Superman, or maybe we see their relationship developing. Like the Clark and Lois relationship in the start of this film is very new, and as the relationship develops throughout the film, then she eventually finds out, and then Clark's like, you know what, you can interview me as Superman. It could be like that as well, but I guess we will have to wait and see. Now, we do find out a lot in this interview, like the public is not on board with Superman for some reason. Now, it could just be that he's just seen as a danger to the public because of how incredibly powerful he is. Maybe it could be that because of the destruction that's happening as he's saving people as well. It could be all of these, but I really do love the chemistry between Lois and Clark from just these snippets in the trailer. So I already know it's just going to be absolutely amazing on the big screen. Now, Clark does explain how he doesn't represent anybody as Superman, he just represents himself and nobody else. And this is because Lois explains that the Secretary of Defense was going to look into his actions, and Superman's like, what actions? Literally, I've stopped the war, I've saved people. It just shows Rick Flag clearly is not on board with Superman because, like, he's gonna be under arrest for, going into different territories without legal permission. And Superman's like, I'm not just gonna sit there and let people die. Like, he's like, I'm gonna save people. So he had his reasonings behind it as well. And we do actually have a shot of obviously Superman getting arrested. We have Rick Flag over there as well. We have Ultraman, we have the Engineer. So it's going to be interesting to see the dynamic between Rick Flag and those villains. Like, what's going on over here? Is it just that the villains go up to the military, they're like, look, we're here to detain Superman as well, and then they just form a team? Or, I don't know, I'm just interested to see how they end up forming an alliance, and I guess we'll have to wait and see. Now, we do have multiple shots of Superman saving civilians, and there's just some gorgeous cinematography while we have Superman saving people. We have just such beautiful shots that really highlight Superman as the symbol of hope, and I really do like that. I really like how James Gunn was able to tackle the tone very well. Now we do have Superman facing off against this villain, like this big, like armored villain. Now, this is a villain that is not from the comics. This is a villain James Gunn has created for this film. We found that out before. And his name is actually the Hammer of Boravia, something like that. And like I said, he's just a villain that James Gunn has created for this film. Now, whether it's gonna be someone underneath the mask eventually, I don't know about that. But for now, he's someone that's just a mystery villain who Superman's going to be facing off against. We do see him having the ability of heat vision, so he does seem to be having Kryptonian abilities like Ultraman and the Engineer as well. Is he part of them, or is the Hammer of Baravia separate? Like, is he his own villain? I'm not sure about that. I guess we will have to wait and see. But I'm interested to see, as I said, if he eventually drops the mask, is it going to end up being someone else? Like, is it going to be Bizarro or any other Superman villain? I am really interested to see that as well. Now, we do have this really hopeful shot of the public lifting Superman up. Now, what I really like about the shot is that it's the idea that he's using the strength of people whom he's more powerful than to lift him up. Like, realistically, Superman doesn't need their help to get up, but he's still getting their help because he's very humble, and it just shows that like he needs those people, like he needs people believing in him as a form of strength to become who he is. And that just shows how much of a symbol of hope Superman really is. So I do really, really like that they added this scene. I think it's probably my favorite scene in this whole trailer. Now we do then have Lex Luthor, the Engineer, entering the Fortress of Solitude, and it's clear they found Superman's hideout. They find where, he's been hiding this whole time. Now, obviously, they don't know his secret identity. Like, they don't know that he is Clark Kent, but they do know that this Fortress of Solitude is for Superman. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they're going to be able to investigate and how they find this hideout of Superman's. And what are they doing here? I don't know. Maybe they're trying to defeat Clark. Maybe Clark is already there and they're looking for him. Or it could be that they're trying to find out more about him and that's why they entered that area. And we do see multiple different shots of like the Engineer, for example, fighting off Calyx and other like robots in that Fortress of Solitude. So she's essentially helping Lex break through. And obviously Lex has this already established hatred towards Superman as well. And that's been since the very beginning. He just doesn't like the idea of Superman, and that's why Lex is teaming up with the Engineer and Ultraman and whoever else is going to be the villains of the film. But yeah, like I said, he's broken into the Fortress of Solitude, probably trying to find out who Superman is, trying to find out more about him, find out more about his weaknesses and stuff like that. And we do have this really funny shot of Crypto versus the Engineer, which I thought was very funny. But this is probably when, Superman then ends up arriving and he fights them off and eventually like there was this shot in the first trailer where he's like over Calyx crying, so I think that's what this is about over here. But then we have Superman breaking out of like a containment facility, and I guess this is after he gets arrested by Rick Flag, Ultraman, and the Engineer. Like he's contained in this area, and we do see Metamorpho in the same containment cell as him as well, and we do see him getting beat up. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this happens. Like, is there some like power dampening thing going on over here which is making Superman weaker? I'm really interested to see. Now there's this shot over here between Clark and Lois. I'm just really interested to see what this purple orb is. I'm really not sure. Let me know in the comment section down below if you guys do know, but ever since the first trade I've always wondered what this is. We do have some more shots of Martha Kent and Jonathan Kent in this film as well. It's going to be interesting to see how much of a role they have over here. Most probably as the more like motivational side of Clark, like where Clark feels like he's at his lowest and he's going to turn to Jonathan and Martha Kent for like advice and just to lift him up. And I do really like this line that Jonathan says to Clark. He says, "Your actions, that's what makes you who you are." I did really like what he says about that as well. Essentially just like motivating Clark, saying like, look, you're saving people, this is who you are, you're a hero. So I do like that. And we do have Clark battle damaged and he's in his bed, like his childhood bed, or just where he lives when he's Clark Kent. And we just have Lois watching over him as well. So like I said, I really do like this dynamic between Clark and Lois from what we're seeing in the trailers. Now we do then have some Justice League or Justice Society. I don't know what they're gonna call it yet, but we have Mr. Terrific using his T-spheres facing off against some bad guys. I'm guessing it's gonna be Ultraman and the Engineers, like men, but I'm really not sure. But we do have more of this Justice League in action as well. We do see Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, and Mr. Terrific together as well. Now we do have Lex looking through the fortress, just like finding out more about Superman, and I'm really interested to see the dynamic between Lex and Superman over here. Obviously, it's gonna be newly established, like they're not gonna have a full-on rivalry yet. Yes, Lex hates Superman so far, but they don't really have that established rivalry between the two yet. This is why this shot really stood out for me as well. Like towards the end of the trailer, we had Clark actually confronting Lex, and Lex just seems so calm, so clearly he's up to no good. He's done something that's gonna put Superman in a very dangerous situation, and it's gonna have to like lift him up and become the hero that he needs to be. Otherwise, there's gonna be consequences. But yeah, lastly in this trailer, we do have this like fight in a football field, and we have Superman versus the Engineer. We do see Mr. Terrific knocked out in the back, and we do have Ultraman defeated on the ground. So this is most probably going to be like some sort of like the final battle between the heroes and the villains, and the Justice League or the Justice Society are going to come in, help Superman over here, and it's just going to be like it's just going to be heroes versus the villains. And yeah, like I said, it just all looks really, really cool. And lastly, to end off, we do have this like out of space battle between Superman and someone else. I'm guessing it's out of space, but correct me if I'm wrong. I could be very wrong over here, but I'm not really sure. But it does seem like out of space, and we do have this person shooting their heat vision. So maybe it could be the Hammer of Bavaria, or it could be the Engineer or Ultraman. It could be any of these villains. All we know is we're having multiple villains in this film. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Be sure to let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this trailer. I'm interested to see all of your thoughts towards all of it as well. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.